It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of November 21st, 1997, and we've only got three of them to look at today. Three of them to look at today, I should say. So let's just go ahead and jump on into it. We'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is the sequel to Paul W.S. Anderson's Mortal Kombat, and this is Mortal Kombat Annihilation. They're going to do with half the cast from the first movie not even back for this one. I mean, you can kind of see it right there. Almost nobody returned from this movie, with the exception of Robin Shou as Liu and Talisa Soto as Katana. I mean, you have James Remire as Raiden, Sandra Hess as Sonya Blade. They do add in people like Lynn Red Williams as Jax. They also add in Lucetta Vander, who you may have seen in Kicking and Screaming, and also Van Helsing as Sindel. And yeah, the thing that they were setting up in the last movie, half those people get killed. Okay, not really, but Johnny Cage is the one that gets killed off, by the way. Also not played by the same actor from the first movie. I mean, and I should also mention that Paul W.S. Anderson... Yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson. I keep thinking it's the other Paul Anderson, but like I said before, Paul Thomas Anderson probably would have made a good Mortal Kombat movie. Paul W.S. Anderson, not so much. He does not return for this, though. It's directed by John R. Leonetti, who is making his directorial debut after being a cinematographer for so many years. And, yeah, this movie's not that good. I mean, Mortal Kombat, the first one, was just barely passable. This is downright terrible. This is the movie that I think everybody was expecting the first movie to be like. Except the first movie was at least trying to resemble the video game, even though it was a PG-13 rated film. And to be honest, it's still better than the one that we got in 2021, the R-rated reboot that was supposed to be what everyone thought it was supposed to be like. It's just a bad sequel. It's just so not entertaining whatsoever. The sets look cheap. The action's not that great. There's so many plot holes in this movie that make no sense. Like, probably the biggest plot hole of the movie overall is the fact that Katana has to face off against her mother, Sindel. Let me be clear about this. Talisa Soto was 30 years old when this movie came out. The actress who plays Sindel is Lucetta Vander, who is 34 at the time this movie came out. I don't think I need to tell you what's wrong with this. Either this chick had Katana is when she was only 4 years old, like something out of Drawn Together, or I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they thought of that. Like, just stuff like that just makes no sense whatsoever, and it's all throughout the movie. Like, you can't get any investment or any excitement from this film whatsoever, and it's just a bore to watch. It's torturous to watch, and nothing of interest happens in this film. There's nothing exciting, nothing intriguing, nothing incredible. It's just a waste of time, and it really destroys any potential this movie has of being any good whatsoever. It's a mess of a film. Like, I can't stress that enough. The first Mortal Kombat movie isn't a classic, but at least it was trying, and the reboot they did recently was okay. It definitely could have been a lot better. But this one right here is easily the worst one of the series. Like, this definitely killed the series for a long time. No wonder it took them almost over 20 years to make another movie and try to get it right, even though that one didn't really work out all the way through. But regardless, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is not a good film. So, anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that is John Grisham's The Rainmaker. The story behind this movie is that Matt Damon plays this young attorney, Rudy Baylor, who's out to make a difference in the justice system. He's also the only hope of an elderly couple after their corrupt insurance company refuses to pay out a claim that could save their child's life. And in this drama, Baylor races against corporate lawyers, corporate judges, and abusive husbands, all with the help of a fellow lawyer played by Danny DeVito, who hasn't even passed his bar exam. Facing long hours in the courtroom, and this is only his first case. And I gotta tell you, for Francis Ford Coppola, this is his first movie after the infamous Jack, and boy, did he need this film. I mean, this is a great return to form for him. It's a very underrated John Grisham adaptation. I mean, this is one of the more underrated movies based off of one of his novels. You have a great cast: Matt Damon, Danny DeVito, Claire Danes, Jon Voight, Dean Stockwell, Virginia Madsen, Mickey Rourke, Roy Scheider, Danny Glover, Randy Travis is in this movie as well. I mean, there's so many good, talented people in this movie, and they do keep this movie investing and exciting to see where it's going to go from here. And a lot of people don't really talk about this movie compared to some of the other Grisham movies that have made for successful films, like The Firm, and The Pelican Brief, or The Client, or Time to Kill. Like, those are movies that stand out the most from the Grisham library that have been well regarded as hits. Meanwhile, this movie just kind of gets pushed to the side. It's in that category of the films that didn't do so well, like The Chamber or The Gingerbread Man or Runaway Jury, but it is still a really solid film. It's a very underrated movie. I think Matt Damon shows a lot of his early chops as an actor. This was before Good Will Hunting came out, too, to keep in mind. He's really good in the movie, and he has to play against all these seasoned veterans within the cast themselves, and he does a very good job of sticking with it. It's a very good film, a very solid, underrated movie. I'd say definitely check it out if you could find it. It's a really good film. It's one of Francis Ford Coppola's more underrated movies, too. I mean, he has a lot of underrated movies to his name that you really should check out, but this is definitely one of those ones that I'd highly recommend checking out. So that's The Rainmaker. So let's go ahead and move on to the last movie we have here, and that is Clint Eastwood's Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Based off of a novel by the same name, you follow this antique dealer, Jim Williams, who's played by Kevin Spacey, and he's on trial for murder of the male prostitute who was his lover, and the multiple trials depicted in the book are combined into one trial in this film. And you have John Cusack in here as well. Jude Law is also in here. Alison Eastwood, Clint Eastwood's daughter. Bob Gunton. So good casting overall here. But this is definitely one of Clint Eastwood's lesser films. It's a film that I think has a lot of good ambitions to it, but combining all the elements from the one book into this film, I think really does hurt the movie, because you're trying to figure out how this is. You're trying to get invested in this, and there's just so much going on where you just can't really get fully into the effects of this film. It's a film that just really, so much potential there with the people involved, and it's written by John Lee Hancock, who's become a really well-known director and writer who's done The Rookie, The Blind Side, The Founder, some really good films overall, but this is a film that just really has a lot of high ambitions, but just not the best execution. I mean, it's not very good. It's a film that's just it's a real letdown of a film, considering all the people on board here. It's one of Clint Eastwood's weakest films as a director, no question about it. And on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. We head into Thanksgiving weekend next with some notable movies. I won't say they're great films, but we have Robin Williams in the remake of The Absent-Minded Professor, Flubber. The Alien is back. Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley in Alien Resurrection, which some things I could say about that one. Also, we have Bent and Welcome to Sarajevo. So, 4 movies overall to look at next time around, and we will delve into all those on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. So, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.